In the previous passage, you'll remember that Ilioneus, Maximus Ilioneus, that is, sic coepit, he thus began, and having begun to speak, it will take some considerable time for him to stop. Here he begins his speech in 522, and it ends in 558, so you'll be working with this guy's speech for a few minutes here. So he addresses her as Regina, very appropriate. She is indeed the queen of Carthage. You are probably used by now, I would hope, to the use of or the tendency in poetry for words which are contained within a relative clause in normal prose word order to be extracted from the relative clause. So here your normal word order would be, O Regina, cui, to whom, Jupiter dedit noam condragentem or urbem, or alternatively condre noam urbem. So just note that noam and urbem agree right here. And he also dated, this verb is doing double duty, justitia gentis frenare superbas, he gave it to, in other words, this is your direct object, he gave it to frenare gentis superbas. Here you would ordinarily have gentes in the typical ending of the accusative plural, the third declension. He gave it to frenare gentes superbas with justitia. Then, using a first-person plural oramus, he describes he himself and his companions as Troes miseri, wretched Trojans. We oramus te, right? So oramus, your main verb, te is your direct object. Here are your here's your subject with an adjective describing it. And then note that he also describes them as vecti. Vecti here is a perfect passive participle, so used adjectivally in force. They were vecti by the ventis, and then what's omitted here is something like super Maria omnia. So we beg you, blah, 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 we Trojans who were, etc., etc. And here are the things that they are begging her. Note, though, that he conjugates himself into the imperative mood here and tells her, prohibe, the infandos anavibus ignes. Here, ignes and infandos agree. Again, with ignis there, you would expect to see ignes, normal accusative ending. And note carefully that infandus is derived from the verb forfari fatus, which means to speak. Something which is infandus, note the gerundive force here, something which is infandus is something not to be spoken, in other words, something terrible. So prohibe the infandos ignis a navibus, and parce pio generi. Notice that parcere here uses a dative of the thing to be spared or pardoned, right? So pardon to the pious race, or alternatively simply pardon the pious race. And then et proprius res aspice nostras. So here, note you have a series of three imperatives, prohibe, parce, aspice. Here's your direct object, res nostras for aspice. And then propios here is an adverb meaning something like more closely, all right? So aspice propios res nostras. All right. Then, having made his request, he moves on to give reasons why she should comply with it. And he says, nos non venimus, we have not come out either. And then you have a series of infinitives used almost as purpose statements. We have not come populare livicos penatis with ferro, out ratas ad litura vertere praedas, or to vertere the ratas praedas ad litura. And so he then follows up with non ea vis animo, which is equivalent in effect to the expression non ea vis in animo est, or in animo ea vis non est. That's just, the est is just omitted. So that violence is not in our minds. Nec tanta superbia victis. So here, in other words, he's suggesting that a vanquished race would not be so arrogant. But note that this is a dative of possession, in effect. And then he says, est locus, hesperiam graii cognomine dicunt. Note that graii here is equivalent to Graeci, the Greeks. they dicunt this locus, Hesperiam. The Greeks referred to Italy as Hesperia in large part just because it was west of them. Hesperia just means something like the western land. Here, terra antiqua is used in apposition with locus, so that locus is a terra antiqua, and it is also described as potens armis ad cubere glybae. Here, a glyba is something like a clod of soil, so in other words, he's suggesting that it is a fertile land. And then right here, this phrase oinotre coluere viri, you may see the parallel between this and the description of Carthage as an urbs antiqua. You might remember there was urbs antiqua fuit tibii tenuere coloni. Here, oinotre coluere viri. The suggestion in coluere is that they cultivated it because it was a very fertile land. And there is some debate about the derivation of oinotre. Some suggest that Oinotria was, it's this region right here in southern Italy. Some suggest that it was inhabited by people who fled from Arcadia under the leadership of this guy Oinotros, and were just named after their leader. Others suggest that it is derived from the Greek oinos, which is wine, in large part because of the fertility of that land and its excellence for growing grapes. One way or the other, just know that it refers to a people in southern Italy. So the Oinotrian men cultivated it. Note that you have your syncopated perfect here. Nunc fama, this fama here is short for something like fama est. The rumor is, or the report is, that minores Italiam dixisse, and so that's an indirect statement. Minores, and you want something like eam Italiam dixisse, ducis de nomine gentem, the race de nomine ducis. All right, ask me if you have any questions about that.